Welcome everyone, welcome, and thank you so much for being with me. I am Diana Popa, business coach, and my special guest today is Broders. Lee is an international veteran life and business coach who helps people gain clarity and confidence so they are empowered to move from employment to a passion-based business where they are able to have more time, more money, and more freedom, allowing them to live the limitless life they desire and deserve. Welcome, Lee. Thank you so much for being with me today.
No, thank you for having me, Diana.
I am looking forward to learning more from you because this has been also my situation, my own story. So I am really excited about having you here. Tell us more about your story and how you start on this path of helping other people who are in a career to transition to a business.
So for me, I grew up on an estate in Birmingham, a big town or city in England. Didn't do too well at school. I joined the military. I joined the army, British Army, and then went on and did some really exciting things. I did 10 years, so I joined at 16 and a half and I left at 26. And I had a job lined up. I'd gone through school and I was told that if you do well at school, you can get a good job. I didn't do too well at school and I ended up in the army. I did have a good job. So when I come out, everyone had said, "Oh yeah, you need to go and work for someone, find a good job so that you can have a pension and everything will be sorted." And that's what I did. I came out and I had a job organised, ready to go to, and it fell through. At the time, I've got 3 children, a wife, mortgage, and I was run ragged doing 4 jobs just to keep on top of things. And I started speaking to someone. Now, prior to leaving, someone had said to me, "Lee, work for yourself, make yourself rich and not somebody else." And I was like, it stuck in the back of my head. So after about 3 months of being run ragged, doing everything, I actually started speaking to someone and started my own IT consultancy. That was back in 1996. From then, I've had a number of businesses. Some have been very successful, some not so successful, but they've all been I've been able to learn from all of them, should I say. So even the ones that haven't gone as well as they could have, I've been able to extract stuff from them. So that was back in, I was 26 at the time, I'm now 52, so we're in 22. So I've had a number of businesses. During that time, I've mentored, I've trained people, I've worked with corporate. And this was one of the things I realised only a few years back, that actually to help people, and the more you give, the more you get. And I've been helping people. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I've been, as I said, I keep repeating, I've been helping people for many years, but not realising it. I had a bit of a struggle, and I actually started speaking to a life coach, and he turned around and said, "Yeah, why don't you become a life coach and business coach? You've got the experience." And I was like, it's not a real thing. Life coaching is not a real thing. Business coaching, yeah. And then I actually started to look into it. I became accredited and certified as a life coach, licensed business coach. And I've been implementing all the bits and pieces that I've learned throughout my life into helping other people do exactly what I did. Leave the military, and even people who aren't on the military, help them go and start their own business. Now, I look at passion-based businesses because if you're doing something you love, can you class it as a job? If you have to do an extra couple of hours fixing a motorbike because you've got a bike workshop and you love working on bikes, an extra couple of hours is nothing. It's getting the job done. And that's how I help people. We identify where they are in their life, where they want to be, because also many people have the limiting beliefs, and it's bandied around a lot, but that they're not good enough, one, to own their own business. They're not clever enough. They don't have the qualifications. But also they don't dream big enough, because we in society are told we have to be satisfied with what we've got. And it's only when we actually step out of that comfort zone and start saying, well, actually, I want more money. Well, you have to get another job. Well, I want more time. Well, you can't have more time. Well, how about free? I want to go on holiday when I want to go on holiday. I want to go and travel when The problem is with jobs, we're locked into that job. And it's only when we can see and it's explained to us that we can actually think bigger and go, well, actually, these people are making money off me, paying me what they think I'm worth, and we're worth so much more than that. And now is the perfect opportunity. 100 years ago, we had to work for somebody else, and those were the land of gentry. Now, with the not the industrial revolution, the information revolution, the entrepreneur revolution, as Daniel Priestley says, we are in the best position we've ever been in to go and start our own business. The likes of marketing, it's always been, in the old days, you'd have to send out flyers, you'd have to put newspaper adverts in. Now, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, dare I say, LinkedIn, all these places are amazing places where you can interact with people, you can talk to people, and you can sell to people. But you sell your person, not the product, because people buy us. So when we actually start going out and speaking to people, we have to be ourselves, we have to be transparent and authentic. And once we can actually do that, it opens up the world to so many different things.
Thank you so much, Lee. I fully agree with you, and you're basically covering everything I believe in. And there is no doubt that this is the future. And I believe more and more people are realizing this. But I would like to ask you, because I still believe that there are a few who are blocked in their careers, who don't even see there is a whole different world outside their own job, their own task. How can they actually get unblocked and really go and pursue and chase their dream and their passion?
I totally agree, Diana. There's so many, and I think it's because we get indoctrinated, and it's a horrible word, but that we have to go and work for somebody else. Schools are designed to create workers. As I said, you go in school, get good qualifications, go and then work for somebody. It's always a good job. However, if you do work, it's a different thing. And these people get stuck in there, but they don't see how to get out. It's about having the right questions asked. If you can have someone ask the right questions, you then find clarity. And as a coach, as yourself, I don't give the answers to people. I can't give the answers, because the expert on Diana is Diana. The expert on Lee is Lee. But what I can do, and what I do is I ask questions about you, finding out what you want. Many people have a terrible relationship with money, and I'll use money, and they, I can only earn 30,000. Is 30,000 a lot? Yeah, it's a lot of money. In the scheme of things, is it a lot of money? Considering how many millionaires, billionaires there are, and how many high flying. I know as a fact that you can come out as a graduate out of university, and you can go and get a job for £60,000 as a basic. But there's people still stuck in the fact that they think money is, and they don't dream. They think they have to stay there. It's only when you actually have a chance to speak to somebody like you or me, where they can ask questions, and it starts your mind thinking. The whole thing about a question is we can reroute, and I don't know the science behind it. I listen to the likes of Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. John DeMartini, all these, Tony Robbins. Once we start asking a question of ourselves, then we will find the answer. And a good example is, I've been told, and actually I can say it works, it's happened. If you ask a question of yourself before going to bed, you normally wake up about 2 o'clock in the morning going, when you should be asleep. But a lot of the time, you'll actually find the answer yourself. And that's what I say to people. I don't give answers. I do mentor people on the experiences that I've been through, because I wouldn't want someone going down an alley where I know they're going to hit a brick wall. But the idea is that you can ask the questions where people start thinking about the answers. And the example I use, and I've done it, I'd hit a problem in the IT, and I'd phone someone up, and I'd go, I've got this problem, and it's this. Thank you, and hang up. Now, this was before the internet days, and I'd get a phone call back saying, Lee, you've just rang me. You babbled on about something. I've not got a clue what it was, but then you hung up and said thank you, or said thank you and hung up. The reason being is when we verbalize a problem, our mind works it out. And that's one of the biggest things. A lot of people are scared to talk about themselves. And it's even harder to speak on video calls or God forbid, do a video. Because of all these blocks that we've got, the only way we can actually unblock is to work with somebody who can ask the right questions and the relevant questions that will help you unlock yourself. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone. I talk a lot about it because it's only when you actually do things that are scary, uncomfortable, will you start to learn and grow. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, absolutely. And something that keeps coming back, and something that I am also working with my clients, is the fact that people don't dare to dream big enough. So even if they sometimes make the step and they go into a business, they struggle so much and they don't allow themselves to really be resourceful, to really tap into that potential that exists in each one of us. What would you advise them to do?
So for me, part of my process is doing values and purpose, where we find out what our values is, we find out what our purpose is, and then we think about direction. And I say, think about the biggest thing you want. And they go, oh yeah. And the example, I use 3 examples. How much do you want to earn? How much, if I could give you this money now, how much would you want? How big a house would you want? Because they're all material things. And whatever car you want, what would you like? Most people, when you ask them how much money, it varies between £5,000 or £100,000. And my answer is, why not 1 million? In fact, why not 10 million? In fact, why not 100 million? And they go, oh, I could never have that. But who said you can't? And that's the way. This beautiful house, a 20 house mansion. Well, why can't you have it? If you work and put your mind to it, we can do anything we want in our life. We've got the power to do anything, and that's the great thing. That it's only when we allow ourselves to think big and think outside what we've been told, because we're told, depending on where you come from. If you come from an estate in Birmingham, you're told that you have to go and buy a house and it has to be this size and you have to work. But if you actually change your mindset, or think about people who have got lots of money, they're told, oh, there's £10 million, just go and waste it. If someone said that to me, I'd be, yeah, okay. I'd waste it on stuff that makes me more money. And that's the thing. People, you're right, people don't think they go. And one of the words I use, there's an author called Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, one of the things is, think of the biggest thing in the world, infinity plus 1. Whatever you can think of, think bigger. Think £1,000 more. Think £1 million more. Think £1 billion more. It's only when we actually look at what we want that we can actually identify it. As I said, the problem is we learn from our parents, our siblings, everyone around, our teachers. A quick one aside from that. So teachers, we learn from teachers. They're influential and we look up to them. But you don't have a geography teacher who has travelled the world. You don't have a business studies teacher who has got their own businesses. You don't have a history teacher who's travelled back in time to see what really happened. All of a sudden, when we can actually free our mind from what we're being told, we can, as I said, we can do anything we want. But what I was going to allude to was the fact that we're born and we don't know we can't do things. When you go skiing, you see these little children about 2, 3 and 4 whizzing down the slopes, falling over, getting up. The problem is we're told by society that we can't do this, we can't do this. You have to go to school and you have to get a good job. You have to work for somebody else. You have to do this. And when you're told something constantly, and constantly you see other people doing it, you fall in line. It's only when you can actually stand up, take responsibility and be accountable to yourself and to others, can you actually then go, actually, I don't want to work for somebody else. I don't want to earn £30,000. I want to earn £100,000. And then you can actually think about how you're going to do it. Put in a dream. So I go vision, which is the biggest thing you can ever think of. Put that into a dream, write it down, it becomes a goal. It's a tangible thing then, and you can go and chase that goal. Well, you chase the dream, you work towards the goal.
Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you for inspiring us and for giving all these examples, because this helps us actually to relate to what you are saying and really understand and really feel it. Thank you so much once again. And I would like to ask you, how do we move from dreaming to taking action? Because some of the people are just into the dreaming, the vision, organizing, and they actually don't really take the action so that they experience, they test what works, what doesn't work.
A brilliant question, and I'll answer that relatively simply, considering how I go on. We're told that knowledge is power. However, I have to disagree with that. Knowledge, you can read all the books in the world, you can do all the courses in the world. If you're going to sit on your settee in your underpants and do nothing with that, you're not going to make any changes in your life. You can think about it, but thinking doesn't do it. For me, knowledge plus action is power. When you take the knowledge that you've learned and you take actionable steps, then all of a sudden you'll have the power. The fact of people dream, and the problem, and there's no problems with dreaming. I dream huge. It's all okay, but until you take the steps. But people get overwhelmed because they think, oh, I want to make £100,000 a year. Oh no, that's too much. Maybe I'll just make 80. Oh, actually, maybe I'll just make, oh, actually, no, maybe I'll just make 20. No, I'm working at 30. I'll just stay in my job. It's about setting smart goals. It's about looking at what you want and how you can get there. The analogy I use is, if you've got 1,000-mile journey, it all starts with taking one step. Once you've taken that first step, whatever it is, you can then take a second and a third. And the compounding effect means that if you do a mile a day, that's 1,000 days to do your journey. On a good day, if you go, oh, well, actually, I'm going to increase that mile to 2 miles. That 1,000 days comes 500. Wow, that's a big difference. Whoa. If you have a good day and you do 10 miles, that reduces it even further. For me, it's about setting goals, what you want, and then splitting it down into bite-sized chunks, smaller tasks that are achievable. And let's face it, when we actually achieve something, we get a feel-good factor. I don't know whether it's endorsements, but if you do something and it's done, yay. Another thing we do is we put off the things that we don't like doing. Don't like doing videos. I'll wait till later. Oh, it's tomorrow. I've got to get a video for it. Well, I don't like talking. I don't know if you've come across Roger Love. He's Tony Robbins' voice coach. He's a voice coach in America. And one of the things that he said is, your voice is not for you. Your voice is your gift to everybody else. I used to hate my voice on a recording. I'd listen to it and you'd cringe and oh God, is that really me? Having listened to what Roger Love said, all of a sudden everything makes sense. People listen, and as it is, with knowledge, you can impart knowledge. By speaking to people, you can take action, which means you can help people. As I've said, the whole thing about going through, as I said, values and purposes before, is to be able to give to people, because the more you give, the more you will receive. How you get people, the question, going back to the question, how do you get people to take action? You hold them accountable. it's so easy for us to lie to ourselves. We do it every day. Oh, I'll just get up early. Oh, I'll have a lie in. Oh, I'll only have 2 beers, 4 beers later. But it's okay. It's harder to tell somebody, and if you have accountability partner, I'm a great fan with those. If you hold yourself accountable to somebody else, it's harder to tell someone that you haven't done something that you said you would than tell yourself, it doesn't matter. Because then human nature goes, oh, it's awkward. I think I want to, I think I need to actually do something, or else I've got a call in 10 minutes and I've not done the work I said to do. Human nature is great with that. It puts us into the panic, fight or flight mode. But that's for me how I get people to get them to be accountable for themselves, take responsibility for themselves and their life, because we're the only people that can make the changes. It's no use, and I say we, not as a coach, the people who want to make the changes. We can't make changes for people. So when they're ready to change, they will change. There's many people out there that don't want to change. They're happy, and that's fine. But for those people that are fed up, unfulfilled and unsatisfied, they get to a point where they want to change. And one of the ones I use is their desire to change becomes greater than their desire to stay the same. Because all of a sudden, they don't like what they're doing. They can't see any way out. And then they speak to a coach. And clarity and confidence comes from both.
I fully agree with you. Thank you so much, Lee, for inspiring us. I also feel inspired, and I am lucky to be in this position because I learned so much from you. Thank you so much for being today with me. And I would like to close the interview today by asking you, who are you serving and how can people contact you?
I serve anyone. I found that I work a lot with veterans from all over the world, internationally. That's why international. I work with anyone who wants my help. I've got a website, which is lebroders.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all the usual, LinkedIn. If it's the hardest thing to do is actually take the step to talk to someone, because we see it as a weakness. When you can get to the point where you can actually think about making a change, you can do it. And talking to someone is probably the easiest thing. There's no cost. You just talk to them. And if you're not right for the client, because I'm not the best coach for everybody, I can say that now, because I do hold people accountable. I do question why they haven't done things. But that's it. It's to me, it's serving anyone who needs help. Sounds a wide variety, but I suppose that's it, really. It's helping anyone who, actually, it's about helping anyone who's brave enough and courageous enough to make that step.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Lee. Thank you once again for being with me today. I am honored to have you here, and I learned a lot from you, and I am sure also our audience learned a lot.
Diana, thank you so much for having me. I've loved every minute, and hopefully it'll go well, and I'll get a chance to speak to you again sometime.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
No problems. Thank you very much.
For those of you listening to us, stay connected because there is so much more to come.